Hiya, nerds. How are you? Gosh darn. Sorry, I'm tweaking a couple things behind the scenes real quick. How are you guys doing? For those of you who are unfamiliar, my name is Luminous Peak. I am your friendly neighborhood fae. Here learning about all the cool things you humans do and streaming cool keyboard content. Let's see. Can I get myself together here? It would be cool if I could. Yes? Yeah, here we go. Different form for a different stream. I streamed earlier today. For anyone who's just joining us, we built this lovely lady here, who I didn't have a name for at the end of stream, but after asking around and consulting a friend, settled on Santa Rosa, which I think is a very lovely and very pretty name. Let's see. I think the music should be coming through just fine. Hopefully it's not too loud. Let me know if I should yank it up or push it a bit lower. But hopefully it's fine. It should be around the same levels it was last stream. But this wouldn't be the first time that OBS fucked me on my sound settings. So please let me know what's going on. Okay. Like I said, this is the board that we ended up building last time. This is the QK80 MK2. I'm going to go ahead and turn this bad boy over because it's just as cute on the back. I have absolutely no clue what the point of this is, but I love this thing so far. I've been typing on it since I built it earlier today. And I do actually think it's super neat, super cool. So let's move this out of the way. There's no like super huge intro or anything to this stream, especially since I've been live already. I know most people just want to get to the nitty gritty of watching me struggle to build a board. So today's board is going to be the Sela70, and I did take it out of the delivery box, but I have not actually taken it out of the package box. So I'm going to show you guys how it came. I did take the top of the box off. This was the top of the box. Very minimalism. Okay, so this is what greeted me once I got it out of the delivery box, which is really dope. It's giving luxury. It's giving luxury brand, you know. Now the question is if I can actually get it out of here. So this is it looks like internals. So this is probably our PCB, circuit board, Yeah, there's foam in there. I can see the foam. We've got our daughter board. We've got our JST cable. It looks like this is for, there's a little blinker light that's kind of on this. This keyboard is inspired by a car, if I recall correctly. And then this is the daughter board cable. So we're going to be getting a little more manual than we were earlier today. QWERTY Keys makes all their boards easy to build. You just snap on, snap off, and there's not much else to do. But we'll have a little more work on our hands with this one. From what I saw in the Discord for this project, originally the PCB was thinner, and they ended up making it thicker for the purposes of kind of like altering the sound. It would sound a little too thin. So they essentially decided they were going to change the thickness of the PCB from 1.2 millimeters to 1.6, which is like kind of considered the standard in this hobby. And this does look a little thicker than what I was expecting originally. The cool thing about the PCB being a normal thickness also is that I don't have to deal with specialized stabs. So that's good. These things we won't need until later. I see all the foams. I haven't decided which foams we're gonna use. It looks like they provided two different ones. This one has flex cuts. This is a plate with flex cuts, and this is the plate without flex cuts. I'm very, very, very likely to use the one without flex cuts. Basically, flex cuts, the whole purpose of them was to make the board more flexible. Did they send me two PCBs? Did they send me two sets? Did they send me two sets on purpose? That's a little, I mean, I'm not going to complain too much, but I don't recall seeing anything in the Discord about. Did I order two sets? That might have been a thing that I did personally. Just to be completely honest, sometimes I do order extra PCBs with my builds just in case something goes wrong, but I didn't think I did this time. That's very interesting. Okay, give me a moment. We're gonna bring Santa Rosa back so I can search my email and see if I ordered an extra, because that's actually important. So let's search that. Okay, I definitely only ordered one, but they absolutely sent me two. I did change the color that I wanted on this one, so I wonder if that's why they sent me two. But the order literally only covers this board. That is so, And again, I don't recall seeing anything here about extra PCBs. I'm not gonna complain about it, but hey, 180, how are you? How are you? Yeah, okay. They ended up scrapping the PCBs originally due to some error with the manufacturer, so they pushed back the delivery date due to some of the issues. It says, interesting. It doesn't say anything about extra PCBs, so maybe I just got lucky and they sent me an extra one by accident. No, how are you? I'm good. I'm glad to hear that you're good. I'm just gonna be real with you. Life has been kicking my ass, like, just to be genuinely serious. I'm not like in a bad way or anything, but there's just been so many inconveniences. Life has been very hectic. I'm just exhausted. That's why I haven't been streaming. I've been too exhausted to even really watch streams even. Sometimes I'll like lurk in you guys' stuff and just not say anything because I'm working and stuff. Touching a lot of grass, which doesn't help with the energy levels literally at all. I am going to build a board today, but it definitely looks like they sent me an extra set. And now I'm like a little worried because this makes me think like, what if something is wrong with it? It looks like, Oh, I see what happened. I see. They sent 2 sets, and probably on purpose. One of these sets does not have any flex cuts at all. This is a solid PCB. The other things do have flex cuts. So like even through the plastic, you can kind of see there's the flex cuts in here. A lot of people were saying that this board sounded super thin because of the flex cuts, and they didn't want them. So my guess is that they sent both types of PCBs. Maybe they had ordered them already. That's interesting. So we'll see. I was gonna put foams in this because I had heard about how thin it was, but since they sent stuff without flex cuts, I now have to think about which foams I want to include. It's possible that it might still sound thin depending on what the case is like. But if I'm lucky, I might be good without it, honestly. So we'll see. I see they've included a few different foams in here. There is this case foam. I'm probably going to include the case foam. If I can avoid it, I'm definitely not using this PE foam. I don't want all my boards to sound like PE. For anyone who is unfamiliar, if you've just stumbled across my channel, or if you're friends with me like on Blue Sky or Twitter, but you're not super into keyboards, just to explain, basically when you layer stuff in your boards, it changes the sound. To put it, like, to oversimplify it, everything that you choose to put in your board changes the sound. It became really popular to put these thin sheets just up under your switches and stuff in the board to change the sound in a certain way. It became such a popular sound that a lot of kits just include these off the bat because there's a lot of people who like that sound. And I do like that sound. I would like to say that for sure. I enjoy the sound. However, I have a lot of boards that have that sound signature. So at this point, I'm not trying to make all my boards sound like that. It's no problem, dude. How are the keyboards? The keyboards are keyboarding. I can, let's see, show you maybe one of the boards that I recently built. Hang on a second. Let me go grab something. I built a cool cheese board. I showed it off last stream too, but hang on. I'll go get it just for you, 180, just for you. This room is so small, I almost knocked something over. Okay, so really quick, this is the board that we built earlier today. Cute, rosy. At the suggestion of a friend, I've decided her name is Santa Rosa. And I think she's adorable. I've actually really enjoyed typing on her so far, even though the keycaps are different than what I'm used to. And then the cheese board is the last board I built. I didn't build it on stream. I just sort of built it at home as a pick-me-up because I was having a bad day. This, I don't think I said her name last stream either. This is Sadie. And she is my lovely cheese board. I'm a big fan. I think they're both cute. They both have like different appeals. I guess is what I'll say. I think they both have different appeals. I am so sure I dropped a piece of foam. Hang on. I sure did. There we go. She's cute and she's single. Sorry, I bet that was cheesy to say. It was indeed cheesy. Oh my God. Someone did suggest for me to name her Bree. And I was very close to doing it. But because of that particular color yellow, I liked it. Basically, that particular color reminded me of Sadie's colors from Steven Universe, the character who works at the donut shop. And her hair is almost that exact same color yellow. So I was like, bet, say less. That's it. That's what we're doing. And that is exactly what I decided. So that's how it turned out. That's how that cookie crumbled in particular. Okay, so we're going to get to grinding. I have to figure out what I'm going to do with the flex cut versions of all these things because I don't think I need to keep them. I don't think that this keyboard comes in a case. We'll see. My room is full of keyboard things. Okay, so we've got a couple of different lights related things. I don't know if this is a replacement for what's in there. I have a feeling that this is a replacement. Like these are extras just in case something is going on with the daughter board and stuff. So I'm not gonna complain. It might just be extra stuff that they went over because they sent me 2 PCBs. So that's probably what it is. All right, so we have a lot of standoffs and screws. We'll have to see how we're using those. I mentioned this before, but this is definitely going to be more of a manual build than the last one. Okay, we have our gaskets here. We have... I have absolutely no clue what these are. I may end up having to look to see what these are. I have no clue what these are. And then we've got our feet. We've got like 2 sets of feet. So they basically sent double everything. Oh, what else is in here? Are these other gaskets? These are other gaskets. Okay. So we got a few different types of things in here. Interesting. I didn't know that they were trying to give us this many mount options with the board, but we'll see. I gotta get some sleep, Lumi. I'm gonna drop a lurk. Yes, please. Thank you. Get sleep. Sleep is important. I know what time it is over there in your neck of the woods. It's crazy that you're still here, honestly. Okay. This is our lovely gal. Look at this color. Lovely. Lovely, actually. Just beautiful. Oh, I see we got a mirror going on here. Okay. Good to know we got a mirror going on. Just so that I can you know, avoid spoiling my face. All right. I think that is most of the packaging. So we're going to put this back in here for now because I don't need this quite yet. And we're going to get started with the stabs. It's just a little easier to start that way because it's one of the things you need done first. Unfortunately, stabs are the most annoying part of building things for me. So we'll see how this goes. If I recall correctly, I believe the layout for the hot swap version of the board, which is the one that I have, is gonna be Sangan bottom row. So let's basically, the board that I built earlier today has Sangan bottom row. Let me grab her just so that I can give you a visual example of what's going on for anyone who's still looking. So basically Sangan bottom row is this bottom row here and how it's oriented. So if you've noticed, the controls and the alts here are longer keys. And then we have one U or like single keycap with keys here in the middle. So long, short, long, long, short, long. And then there's a 7U, that's the length, right? Space bar here in the middle. That's Sangan bottom row, so far as I understand it. So this board looks like it has that as well. And I think that's great. That's part of the reason why I ordered the board. So let's see. I know we've got backspace, enter. I don't think we have a long shift on this board, actually. I think it's a shorter shift and like a function button area. So I think we only need 4 sets of stabs. So this would be backspace, enter, and then this would be the space, and then that would be left. Yeah, left shift. So I think that's all I need there. So now we're gonna take out, let's see, 2, 4, 6, 8 inner housings for the stabs. And I'm gonna have to do some clipping on here. Like I said, this is gonna get a lot more manual. So let me get out my tools. Funny story. When I built Sadie, the cheese board, I had to do this clipping as well. And I brought everything that I needed for this build besides these clippers. Like I just straight up left these clippers just in the drawer, just didn't even carefree, didn't even notice. So I was at a coffee shop hanging with some friends. I go to start building the board and I'm like, okay, yeah, we start with stabs. They're like, oh yeah, I want to know how this is going to work. I can't wait to hear more about the boards and like what's going on and how you build them. And I was like, yeah, that'd be great. We're all looking forward to that. I'm adjusting my mic. So I go to do that, immediately realize that I'm lacking the parts. And I'm like, oh, well, I guess that's it. Can't build a board today. So my friends go to scour the area to see if they can find like some kind of clippers for me. The closest thing that they could find were like nail clippers. So they bought me a set of nail clippers and was like, hey, will this work? Is this like a thing? Whoops. Is this like a thing you can use for your builds? Oh, where did that go? I just clipped it too. Oh, there it is. I see it. So we go to try it and the clippers do work. And that's cool. Great that that's a good substitute. But here's the thing. The clippers. I feel like did I clip this too much? I feel like I might have. I feel like I might have. I'm actually just not going to take any chances. I bought a whole bag, so I will clip another one. The clippers were shaped like a hand and a foot, right? Because they were like, you know, nail clippers, toenail, fingernail clippers. But like, they were the most like disgustingly made mold for those ever. They looked so ugly. So here I am holding, and it was really the foot clippers that were sharp enough to do what I needed for these. It was just crazy, actually, just actually nuts. So I'm just in this coffee shop holding this really ugly pair of clippers. And of course, because it looks like whatever I'm doing is interesting, lots of people want to like come up and ask what I'm doing. And it's just, man, it was so embarrassing to just, because they would come over and see like the keyboard stuff. Oh, hey, what are you doing? This looks really cool. Whatever it is, can you tell me more about it? So I'm preaching the gospel of custom mechanical keyboards to anyone who will listen. And then they look over and they're like, what is that? And I'm like, it's they're nail clippers, my dude. I don't know what to tell you. They're nail clippers and I'm using them because I need them. Sorry, my guy. Sorry, I need the nail clippers. And they're just like, is that normally how you do it? And I'm like, I mean, yes and no. Clipping, sure. Clipping these is like super normal for a keyboard build. But no, not the hand and foot clippers. Please don't think this is a part of my personality. I promise. So that was super interesting. And a good time. And I did build Sadie. She turned out great. I love how she sounds. And I'm very happy with her, even if her origin story is a little embarrassing. Oh my gosh. I don't want to clip it too much. There's a little on the top here. Okay. Good enough? No, there's like a little hair of plastic at the top here. I'm trying to get rid of it. Great, got it. Okay, only 2 more. And here we go. Yeah, I think I got it. Alrighty. I explained this earlier on stream, just for anyone who didn't catch that one. I've been on hiatus for a while just because life has been kicking my ass, like I told 180 when he came in. It's just been a time. Working for a school is super hectic. Doing projects for a school, even more hectic. Okay, really quick, before I start putting things together, I do want to test and see which, I'm running low on stabilas. Oh, maybe I'm not running low on stabilas. This is not the same bag. I think this set came from something else. Actually, let me see if I can go find my 2U stab wires. 1 second, I'll be right back. I'm not gonna put the screen up. I'll literally be right back. Alrighty, no, I am not running out of stab wires yet. Not yet. I will be soon though. I've probably got 2, 3 more builds Actually, maybe two more after this. Because I only need 4 wires for this build. So 1, 2, 3. And then the other wire is going to be a spacebar, actually. So even if I split this into 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I've got like 2 more builds left in here. Which is cool, because I do have 2 more boards to build, actually. Although I think one of them does come with stabs. Their own stabs. So maybe I can get that to stretch a little farther. Alrighty, so let's test out. These are the 7U space bars, I think. Song on bottom row, I'm pretty sure is 7U usually. I don't think I've ever seen it with 6.5. So I just want to make sure that fits. It sure does. So let me put that away. And then we're going to do our lubing first. And then after we do our lubing, we'll get to figuring out the stab wires. The stab wires are always like the craziest part for me personally. Just because like trying to adjust it, like I know some people just buy a bunch of stab wires. I've seen like influencers do this. They'll buy like a shit ton of stab wires and just test them, right? To see if they're level. And if they're not level, what they'll do is straight up just toss them. Like they get them wholesale or something. I'm not 100% sure. And the idea of that is wild to me. It's a bit better now in terms of supplies because there are a few different stores that sell like stab wires at this point. So sometimes you can get them in bulk, but for folks who were, I guess, like, popular before the hobby blew up, they were still popular enough amongst the community to just sort of wholesale their stab wires, and that's crazy to me. I feel like as expensive as this hobby can get on its own, the thing that people don't actually consider are the peripherals, right? The peripherals are like the thing that actually kills you. It's one thing to look at a board and say something like, oh my God, I can't afford that board because it's like $300 or something like that, right? But then when you realize that the board doesn't come fully built, right? And you have to source the components on the inside as well. The switches and the keycaps. That's crazy. Speaking of that, I do know which keycaps I am putting on this board. This is going to be a very monochromatic board. So I have a keycap set that I feel matches this board color very well. It's that deep sort of purple. For anyone who may be familiar, I bought into GMK Rouge for this board specifically. For anyone who is not in the hobby, basically people keep their ears to the ground on projects, and very popular projects are kind of like well known through the community. So there are just certain themes where people will know like what colors you're talking about just from mentioning the name. If you're like that tuned into the hobby, it is in fact like that. Speaking of being tuned into the hobby, I have not been, like I've been kind of on the peripherals of it just because I've been so busy. But I did also talk to a couple of people between streams earlier about whatever's going on with Valor Supply. Valor Supply is the store that I got the keycap set from that's on Santa Rosa, the pink board that I was just showing. It's S, I always want to say the S first, HSA Rays. I really, really, really love that color. I'm a sucker for anything, literally anything that is sunset based. I have so many sunset themed sets, y'all. It's actually just like ridiculous. I have SA Tatooine, and I bought that like at full price, like when it was first coming out. I regret that deeply. Not because of the colors or how the keycaps came out or anything, but it's basically been sitting on a shelf forever because no one who isn't stupid with their money actually put in to buy it, right? So they've been on sale. Sets of it have been on sale recently from NAWL-SEER. But saying all that to say, I have that. I also have I think it's a PBT set, PBT Kavala, which is based on how the sunset looks in Santorini, Greece. I have Alpenglow, which is like a dusky MW Alpenglow. It's a Milky Way set. And that's supposed to be like a fantasy elven environment skyline kind of deal. And so that's been interesting. I'm so scared that I did not put this in the right way. Okay, no, I did put this in the right way. Cool, cool, cool. Outside of those, I also own, I know for sure there's at least one more. It's a Velocifier set that I have that is based on, is it QX Carmine, I think is what it's called? Yeah, that's exactly what it is. QX Carmine is definitely based on like a dusky sunset sort of dealio. I'm looking through my other sets just to see which other ones that I have that are like sunset based. That might be it. Oh, no, I didn't load all of them, of course. Yeah, Carmine Cloud. It's QX Carmine Cloud. Carmine. And it's definitely got like a dusk evening time kind of theme to it. And then I also have, from my really early days in the hobby, tactile Hawaii. tactile Hawaii. And I think that that's a really dope set, actually. The tactile sets are like notorious for being super cheap, but the colors were really good. If you needed a cheap set that wouldn't break the bank, that's, you know, we all have humble beginnings. We can't all come out the gate in this hobby spending hundreds of dollars, you know what I mean? Yeah. I think that I've stopped myself from buying at least 2 or 3 more sunset type sets just because I can't keep buying like the same colors over and over. I also have DSA Vileplume, which is not explicitly a sunset theme, but the colors are definitely giving sunset. The colors are based on Vileplume, the Pokemon, right? But it has, I mean, the theme just is sunset colored. It's got that dusky blue fading into like a dusky pink to like a dusky salmon to like a lighter pink. And I would argue someone down that Vileplume is a sunset colored Pokemon. Maybe not a sunset themed Pokemon, but I'm just saying if you isolate the colors, it's giving sunset. There's been a couple of more that I've wanted to get. I almost got PBT, what is it, like autumn leaves, something like that. Because it's supposed to be a fall themed keycap set, but it's giving sunset because of like the fiery reds, oranges. I think it's good for both. And that's part of what I like about sunsets. Depending on where you are in the world, what time of year, you get all these different colors, right? And so sometimes you get pinkish, purplish. Sometimes you get bluish. Sometimes you get bright, fiery orange and red. All of those are sunset keycaps. I will say I like purple, so I am a little more biased towards sets that are sunset themed that have purple in them. But it doesn't have to have purple. Kavala is a really good example of that, actually. And I did consider getting a sunset theme for this board because I knew that the keyboard was that deep purple color. I was so sure that I could find a keycap set that would have a cool corresponding purple, even if it was just the bottom row, and I could be justified. However, I don't want every board I have to be like a red orangish to anything else gradient, you know? If we're talking like keyboard gradients, I have a few more keycap sets that do the gradient thing. So I'm trying not to just straight up have all my boards be gradients. I will say that if we're just counting purple keycap sets that I have quite a few. Not counting anything that just has like accents that are purple. If I only count sets that specifically have purple in them on purpose, let's see, starting with Tatooine, let's see, 1, 2, Alpenglow for sure is a purpley theme. I have Cam Little Dragon, which is like all purple. It's a light purple gradient to dark purple. I guess like a medium purple more so. It's themed from off of Kanna from Dragon Maid. I have the HSA Rays, which I just showed you guys on Santa Rosa. And then I have Vaporwave, which is purple, 2 different tones of purple with like pink and blue highlight because it's got that neon Miami Vice aesthetic going on. I also have DSA Magical Girl, which is definitely like a deep purple and blue set. And I love that. I almost want to say Vile Bloom counts, but it doesn't really. It just has blue and pink. I think the gradient just implies purple. I do have GMK Rouge, which I'm putting on this board. You guys will see that it's a very deep purple. And then I recently picked up GMK Nightshade after lusting after it for a while. And then I think the last one I have that's purple is Love Magic. Yeah, JDK Love Magic, which is supposed to be like a similar... Honestly, I think it was kind of supposed to be, I don't want to say a knockoff because the color isn't like exactly replicating Rouge, but I do think that the point of it was to sort of replicate Rouge, to be honest. Okay, so let me put this away. We're gonna get out our BDZ. I have to test out these wires first. I'm not gonna lie, after the day I've had, I'm not trusting stabilizer wires. Ah, so close. From this direction, this is actually good. That's why it's important to turn your bars over, folks. Never mind that last stream, I definitely forgot to do that. Okay, so let's see if I can tell. Whoops, oh, shoot. Ah, I dropped it. I done lost it. Okay. We've resumed it. Let me see. What I'm trying to do is look to see if I can tell the angle that it's off by. And I can. Usually if you have it on a flat surface, you can kind of see what the issue is. And that can help you with trying to adjust. So we're just gonna tweak it just the tiniest, teeniest bit. Okay, that's pretty good. I managed to not fuck it up. That's good. I'm very happy about that. Okay. And then, oh, from this side, that's actually quiet. We're gonna leave that. Wow, we're 2 of 3. That's pretty good for stabilizer wires. Okay, one side's fine on that side. Let's see. Okay, let me take a look at this just to make sure I'm not crazy. No, it seems fine to me. I feel like 3 out of 4 ain't bad in terms of adjusting. 3 out of 4 is not bad. That's probably the quickest I've ever addressed balancing wires ever. Okay, so here's what I'm gonna do. We're gonna lube up these wires. We're gonna put them in our stabilizer housings, and then I'm gonna take a quick break. 1, to top up my tea, and 2, come on. All right, that cover needs to go directly in the cap. Oh, geez. All right. Lube everywhere, just everywhere. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna take a short break afterwards. And from there, we'll put the rest of the board together. Like I said, this board is definitely a little more manual than the Neo or the QWERTY boards. The goal of those companies is to make building like as easy as possible. So the thing is damn near assembled when you get it. Once I did the stabs and the switches, I didn't really have to do anything except put the top case on the bottom case and then push it in. So that right there tells you the goal is to make the user experience easier. And I think that that's great, by the way. Don't get me wrong. I do think that you can get something out of working with your hands. And I do think that that's very important. You know, like having that bonding experience with your board by building it when you have to adjust everything, you know, and like kind of like fine tune things by hand. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think that's fine as a process. However, I understand that there needs to be options for people who don't have the resources or time to participate in that. And then also thinking about it from like a community perspective, I'm sure that there's some folks who are like disabled or have medical stuff going on. Like maybe they can't fine tune these kind of things with their hands. Like we're here doing this now because I'm, you know, capable enough, but fine tuning all these things, it's just nice to have options that accommodate different types of people. If you're in the middle of moving or taking care of some other business, like just knowing that there's options out there for folks who might have issues or just don't have the time to invest. Like every time I build a board, it takes me a few hours. Especially when I'm doing it on stream, right? Because I'm like pausing to talk to people and respond to questions. And I think that even just having the camera on and doing it on stream itself slows down the process, because I'm more likely to stop and pay attention to details, just from the perspective of like what if I need to explain something to someone? I'm going to upload this later, so I should include more detail. I think overall, it just takes more time, right? But if it takes me this much time on a stream when like I relatively know what I'm doing, for someone who's completely new, it's just gonna be impossible. I've definitely coached friends through building a board. And if you haven't worked with small parts like these before, they're, you know, always scared about breaking things. And if you've got like a cheap board to start with and you're just like, you know, fiddling around with it, that's basically what I did. I bought like a NAWL-SEER 65 or something. This was like in 2020 during the pandemic. So I bought that for, I think like $80, which is not cheap, but cheap for this hobby. And this was like old in the olden time. So I had to like lube every single switch that went in there by myself. I had to do all of the like the mods on the case to like make it sound good because it was made out of a cheap material. All of that rigmarole, right? And if you've only paid like a lower price in this hobby for it, it's a little less, I don't want to say like bothersome, but there's a little less at stake, right? Like if you make a mistake or something like that, if it's a small piece that you know you can easily replace, that's easily available, then like, sure, right? You're willing to take the risk. It's like older people with their phones, right? What they're all thinking is, I don't want to download a virus to my computer, so I'm just not going to learn how to do anything on it, and I'll just let people who know what to do all the things. But at some point, if you don't actually practice using a computer or accessing the functions and stuff, you're just never gonna learn how it works, right? So I think of keyboards kind of the same way. Start small, start with cheaper things, learn how they work, what makes them tick, be willing to make mistakes with your cheaper model. You can go to Amazon and get like cheap boards. Even the Nhaalsyr line that I first started with, they still make boards. And they've gotten better over time too, despite, you know, being the cheaper option. But yeah, so people start off being afraid to do anything, to move anything, right? And I definitely understand the philosophy of making keyboards more accessible because of that. I think that that's really neat. I know a lot of old heads in the community. An old head is like an elder or something, you know, someone who's spent, you know, they've spun the block for a while, right? Most of them are like, I bond with my board when I build it, then making everything easy just sort of like takes the fun out of building. I definitely understand that perspective. I'm not saying that it's wrong per se, but there's just different perspectives. Like everyone bonds with the work they do a bit differently. For some folks, having an easier route to do things does not at all depreciate the experience for them. So I think there should be options for those people as well. I think that's super important. Hello. Hey, how are you? Asking for a friend. Nice to meet you. I don't think I've seen you before, but it didn't say first message. So you must have been in here before. I must not have seen your name for a while. Good to know you are doing well. You caught me right at the top of the hour. I was just about to take a short break. I'm building the Sela70. I'm taking a break to top off my tea, and then I'll be back and we'll start the build in earnest. Rah! Just confused the poop out of a border patrol officer. I have several questions. Let me take this break and come back, and then I'll be right back. Feel free to put the question, not the question, the story in the chat. Feel free to put the story in the chat. This is crazy. And we are back. I present male, by all accounts look male outwardly, but I am cisgender AFAB. So when I get truck inspections, I see. Okay, yeah. When you say like, cis implies that you identify, though. I get what you're saying, but I am a little confused. Not by the story though. I'm not shocked that Border Patrol is shocked by that. I don't want to ask you any personal questions though. But I think I got the gist of your story. I don't want to be like rude or... Okay, yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, but you present male. Okay, I see what you mean. Some people are not sure how to like properly discuss how they identify, so I was trying to make sure I had all the words in the right places. Okay, gotcha. So you present male despite being cisgender AFAB, so that confuses the Border Patrol. Makes perfect sense. Tracks. I see it. I have no clue what these are for. I've looked in several places. We shall have to look at the board itself when we start building and see if we can figure it out. Unfortunately, I can't see the police as being gracious enough to be polite about it, is the thing. If they are confused. Hopefully you encounter more polite police officers or officers in general. Wow, definitely just stabbed the frick out of my thumb. Oh my god, that hurt so much. Good lord. Okay, let's not do that a second time. Golly. Okay, cool. That was better. Oh my god. Let me tell you that, Jesus, that hurt me so much. Okay. I'm trying to make sure these stabs are snug. They don't quite feel snug to me. Like they're in properly, but I can see a little gap underneath. And I don't think I have any pads to go underneath these. Let's see. If I fish out my tweezers. Okay, they're not moving. I think it's probably fine. I look male, which helps me at work. Trucking, I'm taken more seriously. Yeah, I agree. I had a friend who was a female trucker a while back, and all she could really tell me is that not everyone, but most people did not take her as seriously, which is just really rude and disrespectful, obviously. Okay, I just want to make sure this is in fact pushed in all the way, because those other stabs are definitely laying a little more flat than these. Yeah, the hooks are on the outside where it's supposed to be. There is a little gap, but it's not exactly the same type of gap as this one. We'll see. Since this is a bit more of a manual board, if I end up having to take it apart to figure some stuff out after stream, I can and will do it. Alrighty. That must be frustrating though, to not be taken seriously in that way. I have a friend who currently, she does not work as a trucker, but she does work with trucks. She's got like a foresting sort of job, so she like helps trucks, like when they weigh and sample certain things that they're bringing in. And even there, doing that job, she's not taken as seriously. Even though she's literally not actually doing any trucking. It's just, I don't know, those types of jobs tend to still have lots of stigma for certain types of people, which is unfortunate. Okay, so I am not going to do the PE foam with this. But they did give me some other foams. In my heart of hearts, what I want to do is just the case foam, but I am a little worried about how this is gonna sound. Just a little, just a smidgen concerned about how it's gonna sound. I'll try it though. I'm gonna try it without the foams in it first, because they've respec'd it. It's a bit different than it was before, so we're gonna try it and see. We're gonna try it and see. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna try this and see how it goes. I know, just raw dogging it, no foams. Okay, my switch fork. Oh, it's out here actually. So let me start here. Oh, you know, another thing I should do, decide which switches I'm gonna put in this thing. So you've got two very pink options. These are CIY Sakuras. I actually had these in a previous build that I did. These have like a deeper sound. And then the ones I originally bought to go with this board are these. These are the white Lotus switches. In terms of like differences between the two, because I realize that's what most people would be looking for. I know for sure from putting these in a build, these have a deeper sound signature for sure. They did very, very deep. My assumption is these are a little lighter. In terms of these are also made out of like polycarbonate straight up PC on the outside, and there's some secret sauce blend on the bottom. Whereas these are a blend of polycarbonate PC and UPE. You know what? I think I'm gonna go with these. And the reason why is because these are tactile. I think I'm gonna put these in there because they are tactile, and I kind of want tactile in my board. It's a lighter tactile for whatever that's worth. It's a little closer to average, but it's a lighter tactile. The Sakura switches evade usage once again due to being linear. And just looking at all of my 70% boards, I think they're kind of split across the board on if they're tactile or not. Okay, so these are linear, these other ones tactile. Linear. Tactile, linear. What are the other 70% that I have? Are there any other ones? Nah. I think I'm just gonna use these. I think I'm gonna stop trying to look at my chart and like make a logic about it. And I'm just straight up just gonna say I want this board to be tactile. So I'm making it tactile. I am such a keyboard nerd. I usually theme my builds. So sometimes it's not the tactility or like the feel that matters to me. What matters to me most, I would say, is sound first, and then aesthetics. I will say aesthetics are pretty high up there on the list. I know that when some people build their boards, they're just kind of like, oh, whatever. As long as it sounds good and it feels good, like it's fine. But what I absolutely can't deal with, first of all, if the sound is off, crazy. I need it to sound in a way that I enjoy, or we're going to have some problems. And following that, it needs to have a look that I enjoy. I've absolutely trashed, well, not trashed, but I've definitely swapped keyboard aesthetics. Oh, that, let me double check this switch because I don't like how that felt going in. And now I'm worried about the other switches. No, it's fine. Oh no. Okay. I guess it's fine. Everything down here went through. Yeah, I see the pins. They went through. It just felt mushy going in, and that was weird. Usually, if a switch feels mushy going in, it's because something's gone wrong, right? Like, usually you can kind of tell if there's like a bent pin or something on the switch if it didn't go in right. So I'm just paying attention and looking for that because I don't want to have to, or at least I want to avoid taking switches in and out as much as possible. I don't want to wear out the sockets. How are we on time? We're at an hour 17. We still have some work to do. Like I said, this is a more manual sort of build. It is hot swap, so it's not like we're soldering anything, but there's gonna be some screws to unscrew. There's gonna be some screws to screw in. I'm lucky because I have cherry clip-ins, and that prevents at least some of the screwing when it comes, so like so far as the stabilizers go, right? So that's super useful. Shaves off a little more time for that. And more importantly, they were cheap too. So that's, whoops, stabilizers are so expensive. Before I went on break, I was saying that I had looked into Vala Supply, because that's where I had gotten the keycaps I used on the last build on. And unfortunately, it does seem that they're in a position to like be exit scamming right now, which is like really crazy. I need this plate to seat itself in a way that makes sense. Oh my God. This is not seating itself well. We'll see how this is going. If I really don't like how the switches are sitting in here, I might end up using the foam just for the purpose of making sure they're secure in here, because this is, I don't play around with how switches are seated, especially because I have to use hot swap when I build these things. I don't have any other choice. It might be how the cutouts for this are formed. Maybe I'm not pushing hard enough, because it does feel like there's a little extra bit it's going in when I press. So we're okay so far. We'll see. But yeah, Valor Supply was fulfilling orders all the way up until it seems like the mid October or the end of October. And then they just sort of stopped. They had made some promises to be more transparent about what was going on at the store, because they weren't great at communicating the progress of projects before. However, Valor Supply had a really, I mean, I don't want to say a good reputation, but they had a reputation for like you're going to get your items eventually. It just might take a while sort of thing. Which is, I don't want to say normal in this hobby, but kind of normal in this hobby. But they've been ghosting people recently, so that's like a whole thing. There's lots of people in the Discord right now that ordered in October that haven't seen their items, which is crazy. It seems like I just missed the window for that happening. So when I ordered, I was able to get all my stuff, but other people are just kind of like stranded SOL for real. And that's really awful. I have been ghosted by sellers before, both in cases where I was unable to get the things that I paid for. One of the businesses straight up filed for Chapter 11 to minimize losses. So I'm probably never gonna see the items that I bought from them. There was some sort of movement from another company in the hobby to help people out. Like they bought a bunch of the inventory, and in some cases offered to just help people receive their items at cost to them. And that was great. Great, you know, business coming together to help perpetuate the hobby and whatnot. But I missed the deadline because I didn't realize what was happening. Obviously, the Discord for the store wasn't updating. And it was just sort of like a word of mouth kind of thing, where like you had to be in the right forums at the right time, right? To like get the information. And I could not get the information that I needed. Oh no, did I block myself in? I sure did with this. Let me pull this out. Okay. For anyone who is asking, like, or wants to know, because I've gotten this question like privately a lot, why I always hold up my PCB when I'm putting stuff in. It is 300% because I support my switches from the back, and you can do that by just like having your keyboard PCB like not face down, but face up on the desk mat here and then pressing straight down. But I just don't always trust that the PCB is gonna lay completely straight. Sometimes there's like minor warpings and things. It just feels better to me to know for sure. Like, yeah, I've got my PCB in my hands. I can feel that I'm backing the socket with my hands. It's just easier for me. Okay. Okay, the switches are seated okay so far. So maybe it was just like the cutouts and just having to add a little extra pressure. Hopefully that'll be what it is. And when we get everything hooked up and we plug everything in, it'll work and I'll have a beautiful baby on my hands. I do know the name of this board, by the way. For those of you who may not know or are just lurking and haven't been here before, I am, in fact, your local crazy keyboard lady. So I do name my boards. Like every single one of them has names. The names are not always based on the theme, but they're usually like related to the theme. Or like related to the color. Related to like the aura of the board, so to speak, right? Sometimes I end up swapping things if like if I put something together and it doesn't fit right. Obviously I'm gonna change it, but usually once I found like a forever name, I know what it's gonna be. I've swapped some components around in boards that have like changed how things feel or how things sound or how things look. And sometimes I'll like have boards inherit names if they've got parts from other boards and that was like part of their essence. So it's been an interesting time. This board's name is going to be NAWL-SEER. NAWL-SEER, because I really think her name is giving Night Elf. And I believe I saw that name somewhere. I might have named a character that because I also write in my spare time. But that name has come up for me before. So definitely possible that maybe I used it for a character or something. Looking at what I'm seeing right now, I don't see any standoffs for real that I need. I feel like this board, they did give me standoffs. I'm pretty sure that's what those gold things are, but I don't think I need them. Especially not around the spacebar. Usually the spacebar is like the stiffest area of the board. So my hope is that by not putting foam in here, we'll get a spacebar that sounds pretty decent. In my neck of the woods, it is 2 a.m. So we're making pretty good time. We're at an hour and a half. My guess is I'll tell you why we're making good time. It's because the fucking stabs didn't take forever. It usually takes me like 30 fucking minutes to do stabs because stabilizers are the bane of my existence. Having to wire balance and all that jazz. Like, good God. Please, spare me. Spare me, please. Okay, I know for sure we have potential for stepped caps. I think NAWL-SEER is going to have stepped caps. I don't know. My last board was not step caps. I feel like this is a classy lady. Step caps is giving class, if you ask me. Not to say that regular caps is classless or anything like that, but I'm just saying for me it gives like that little extra. We're about business. Okay. Home stretch. We only have a few more switches left. Which one of these is caps locks? Are they going to tell me? They're not going to tell me. Okay, I think I can guess, though. I'm thinking it'll be this one over here on the far end. I think the one that's furthest away is usually stepped because of how the key is situated. Hopefully I won't have to take it out and do it again, but I'm pretty sure I'm right. Pretty sure I'm right. Okay. Oh, the fork is in the way. I was like, why won't it go in? Okay, so we have all these different mounting points. This one has a bent pin. I'm pretty sure this is stepped. Cool. My hope is let me take a look at the builds, because there's an exploded version of this, I think. Oh, actually not quite. Not an exploded version. So the question I want to ask is, do I actually need the gaskets on the sides here? Or can I just do the mounting, the circular mounting points? I might have to pause for a second to look that up and see what's up with that. The keycaps are gonna look so lovely on this board. I'm so excited. Yeah, that pin is bent, but I bent it back, baby. And see, like, it's delicate stuff like that, right? Like, I have a friend who, like, if they bent a pin, they would cry and, like, call me. So I end up basically being, like, IT, but for boards. And so I actually get people that ask me all the time. And by all the time, I mean, like, half a dozen times in the last week is an example. Are you going to sell your boards? You should sell your boards to me. This one's already built. You should sell it to me, etc., etc. First of all, I'm collecting these, so no. But second of all, everyone thinks the boards are nice until it comes time to, like, literally do anything with them. You know what I mean? When anything happens, right, and there's an issue, then then it's, what do I do, right? My most successful, or I guess I'll say my friends who are most successful with keyboards were the ones who took the time to, like, sit and ask questions. Like, they invited me to hang out with them while I was building a board that they wanted. And they asked me questions about, you know, like, what I was doing and why and that sort of thing. And actually were able to, you know, figure stuff out that way. I wonder, do we have to do both mounting methods? It looks like there is a structure guide of some sort. Some kind of build guide. Oh, apparently it's not up right now. That's not great. Oh, I see. It looks like there's a photo album going on in here that has details about the mounting points. So let's take a look and see if I can actually find it. Okay. So, okay. So the mounting style, interesting. It does look like these go on the outside and these do go on the inside. The example photo they have of the build does actually show the in-between spots having the gaskets in them. So I guess I will fully build it out the way it is. It's a little bit of a weird one. But I'm not going to complain or anything. Even someone on Geek Hack, that's like the forum for people in the hobby, was like, hey, you should say a little more about your mounting style. Oof, that was a big yawn. Let's see. I don't know if they actually ended up updating with more information about the mounting style. Okay, it says gasket mount and top mount. Oh, I see what they mean. Okay. Okay. So these are just the gaskets if we want to do gasket mount. But if we want to do top mount, it looks like there's gaskets on the... Like there's gaskets that go on these. That's interesting. I might do the top mount. I might do the top mount. And here's the thing. Here's the thing for me, right? I know most people are going to be like, top mount? Why would you do that? I like the idea of top mount with this board. I feel like we've got a pretty decent layout with this. I'm interested in seeing how it would work because it looks like these sleeves go here and then you would still put the screws in through the gasket, which is super interesting. Not sure how this is going to work practically. Super interesting. So like looking at what benefit will the gaskets give? Basically the gaskets give you more of a flexible structure, but I think for top mount, it's just to cushion, like the areas that are going to be screwed into. This is so interesting. I kind of want to do it just to see what it'll sound like. Yeah, they fit right in there. Right in there. Huh. Color me intrigued. Color me intrigued. I'm willing to try it and see. If it comes out ass, I'll have to deconstruct it and just do the regular gaskets. But color me intrigued. Color me intrigued. I find that very interesting. The thing that I'm wondering, Mr. 57, is basically, does putting these gasket socks around the top mount area, does it actually soften, I guess, like the top mount sound? Because usually top mount is like very stiff. Or does it allow for any more flexibility? I wonder. I'm actually just not sure. These are very squishy. And it does have room to wiggle. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. I mean, putting on regular gaskets isn't anything. So I'm willing to risk it for the biscuit and see what's going on. So this is the majority of the build here. I'm going to have to start busting out the tools with the case. Hang on. Okay, get these screws over here. I'm not trying to scratch the coating. So this is the actual case. It's this gorgeous purple color. Yeah. So let's see. There's a weight in there. We got these big screws. These are hexes. Oh, they might be torque. Hang on, let's see. Oh, they might be big hexes. Let me see. I might have a tool that already has parts so that I don't have to take anything else out. Let's see if the big hex that came with this actually works. The fewer attachments I have to pull out, the better. So let's see. Yep, that does appear to be the correct one. So let's break out my dusty screw holder. I haven't used this in a while because I've been putting together, I think all the boards I've put together recently have been like QK boards, so I actually haven't had to put much in this at all. Boo! Boo earns, these aren't magnetized. Boo! I used to have a tool for magnetizing screws. It was a needle tool that came with one of the boards I had, but I don't know where it is, unfortunately. I must have either tossed it or probably given it to someone more like, to be honest. It was a neato little tool. So like one side you could run across the screws to magnetize, and then the other side you could run across to demagnetize. It was hot. That was a hot fucking tool, let me tell you. Very useful. Oh, I see what these things are now. These are the top. Okay, I see. They're basically like feet for this board. That is interesting. And then I guess the feet would go here. I wonder if you... Well, yeah, I guess... Oh, yeah, for sure. Okay. I can see the holes where these line up there. I'm guessing if you want, like, elevated typing angle, that's what you would use these for. However... because of the way this is shaped, so like just looking at this, right? This fits here, and there's a depression on the sides of this where you could stick your adhesive feet afterwards, I guess. So it can have like a specific side profile. I don't think I could just put the feet here. I think these grooves here, those bezels would be taller than the feet. I'm gonna take this out just to look and examine. Because it does look like it. Yeah, and these are in pairs of 2, so I imagine they're supposed to go here and here. You can also fit them here, but I wonder if you fit one of those here, would it be tall enough to actually act as feet? Interesting. I think that that's a cool add-on, I guess, like for height. But to me, it almost defeats the purpose if what you're gonna do is... Oh, I didn't even do that one yet. If what you're gonna do is just end up covering it up with the foot adhesive anyway. I wonder if anyone else... Oh, shoots. The long ones are the corners, I imagine. Nope. Are the long ones in the middle? Okay, yeah, the long ones are these middle ones here. I just needed to remember that for later. I was not paying attention. Oh, maybe long ones on top. Long ones on top, short on bottom. Cool. I've had boards that have done that before. Now I want to go through the Imgur again to see if they actually show the little metal feet thing. All of these are, yeah, okay. I do in fact see the metal feet. And it does look like you are supposed to put the pour-on gaskets on top of the metal feet. That is exactly what it looks like. I get it. But I do think it kind of... I do think that it kind of defeats the purpose a little. Because you can't really see the silver. I mean, I guess as a side profile you can. But I feel like you're cutting it a bit close there, you know? Okay, let's see if I can get this. All right, here we go. Okay. Okay. So let's see what the top mount thing is about. right? Because we've got this here. So we've got top mount here. I gotta see if I can get everything to slot into place though. Because it doesn't feel like everything's slotting in. Okay. It does not feel like everything is slotting in place here. So it's like, what is happening with this exactly? If I were to screw this down, it's like, you know what I mean? How is this actually... The top slots in perfectly. The bottom area here. What is going on? What is stopping the bottom from slotting in the way it should? Nope, 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 nope. This is interesting. If I can't get it to slot in properly, I might just say screw it and just... I thought I maybe had it misaligned at first, but Especially because all of these are the same size is the thing. Like if I set this in here. Oh, shoot. Oh, I dropped it. It's like, how would that even reach, right? And I've put together top mount boards before, so it's not like I'm some stranger to top mount. There's something, for some reason, it is actually not slotting in the way it should. Okay. Okay. I'm guessing the silver feet helps the feet adhere better than the painted surface. Possibly. It does fit pretty snugly, at least from like what I can see. Because everything is aligned correctly. The switches are in there correctly. There should, in theory, be nothing stopping this from... Oh. I'm dumb. I figured out what it is. I didn't look at the case. It's been so long since I ordered this. This is wind keyless. This is wind keyless. That is why. It is Sangan bottom row, but wind keyless. That explains everything. So now this just like, there we go. All right. So we'll try out the top out. We'll see how it is. I'm willing to do it. The answer 70% of the time is that I'm actually just a big dum-dum. It's also almost 2:30 a.m. where I live, so late night build. And then the 2-in-1 top mount, I'm sure it's supposed to be some sort of like gasket top mount hybrid. Because it was definitely advertised as 2-in-1. And I know that this went through some changes when they got feedback from some of the keyboard folks they sent these out to. So maybe one of the revisions was making the PCB dual. So this and also just regular gasket mount. Where's the last screw? Here we go. All right, so we need a tiny hex, and I do believe I have that. I don't even remember which board this came with, but it was definitely a godsend. It might have been one of the Geon ones. I wouldn't be surprised if it was one of the Geon boards. Oh, not Geon. Maybe Matrix boards. That's what I meant. A Matrix board. Okay, hang on. Let me see. Yeah, I gotta lean this up if I want to get it all the way in there. Oh. Is this too big? I think it might actually be too big. Do I need a tinier one? I do think I have a tinier one. Shockingly. Okay, maybe super tiny. Super tiny one works. Yep, okay. Oh, wait, no. Is this also too big? Oh, that's not. That's definitely not going in correctly. Maybe this is not helping as much as I thought. The issue is like, how could this not be going in far enough? Okay, I got it eventually. Okay, I think the friction or the lack of friction from the gasket is actually stopping it from turning once we get to a certain point. So, I think that there is friction that's stopping it from turning. Yeah. This is such an interesting mounting method. I'm not sure how to feel about it. Okay, so this one isn't actually in there. These two are actually in there. It's so hard to feel where the thread is because of the silicone gasket. It's kind of like in the way almost. That is not doing it. I literally cannot actually get it into the thread because this gasket is Is it in there now? Kind of. It's like not screwed in all the way though. Okay, now I think, is it in there? No, maybe not. Okay, I'm gonna try one of these other. It's crazy to have this threaded and to not be able to feel the thread. I'm legit gonna pull this out just to make sure that I can see like where the fucking thread is, because this is actually a little insane. It's definitely in there. It's just hard to get it to actually sit well because of the... That's so weird. I think this is the first time I've ever encountered like a screw whose thread I couldn't feel. That's crazy. Okay. Okay. That one's in there for sure. Oh, nope. I wonder if it's the... Is it this size? Does it require an even smaller one? Hmm. It might need an even tinier one. I might be struggling with that one. So I was able to get a few of these in. That one's rough going though, for whatever reason. Okay. I'm hoping I didn't strip the screw, because that might be what it is. Yeah, okay. The rest of these are going fine. It's just that one screw. That one screw is like bonkers. So we'll have to see what we can do with it. I'm going to... Oh, can I even pull this out? Did I screw it in too far? No, I didn't. I'm actually going to swap these. See if I can get this in there. I was going to say, I'm literally in the thread, so it doesn't make any sense to not be able to screw this in. Nope, screwed in automatic. It is this screw. This screw in particular is a difficult boy. All right, cool. I've got them all in there. Double testing. This one can screw in a little more. All right. So we've got our gasket, our weird gasket top mount shit here. I don't know how I feel about this, guys. I guess we'll just have to see. Gasket top mount is a little nuts. I am having trouble seeing... Oh, hang on. This one looks like it's screwed in just a little too tight. So let me see if I can loosen it a little bit. The gasket isn't adhering all the way. So let me just... Okay. Cool. Cool. Okay, I just wanted to make sure I wasn't overstressing the gasket, because that's what it seemed like was happening. All right. So now we got our top mount dealio going here. This is so interesting. This is such a... I don't even know. There is some, like, give to it. But I don't know, man. Like, this seems a little weird. This one's not screwed in all the way. Okay. All right. So now that we got this done, I do think there's a couple of things. There's a couple of things left to do here. We got to get the daughter board and everything in there. And see, there's these depressions and grooves for like the gaskets, but I'm not sure if I mean, I guess some of them sit like slightly above the edge. The idea of these needing to sit in the grooves here is a little weird to me. I mean, I guess this makes sure that it's flush no matter what. It's just the gaskets seem very flat to me. I'm not sure where the extra flex for these wells is coming from, but I'm not gonna question it. I didn't design the board. So, let me unscrew these here first. I'm very happy that they made everything one specific type so that I don't have to switch between too many things in terms of the screws. That is always super helpful. All right, so a couple of things. First, there is a diffuser that they put... Oh, maybe the diffuser is actually in the... Yeah. These are pre-assembled. So I think I'm just gonna steal the diffuser from here because they didn't give me an additional, like an extra diffuser. So I think I'm just gonna steal it from here and then use what's in this pack and then keep these as extras, maybe. Okay, so this diffuser, it goes in here, so far as I can tell. And then I'm gonna push that in here. There we go. So that'll diffuse whatever light is coming out of the board. Because like I said, this is based on a car, so it's got this little part in the front. Which is super dope, super cool. We love it. Like I said, since these are pre-assembled, I'm just gonna take these out and use these. So I believe this goes here like this, and it does look like the holes line up to that degree, but I'm not 100% sure. Yeah, no. The lights actually have to, literally they have to face that way. Cool. So let me screw this down. This has to be these screws here, I'm sure. And that would also explain why we have exactly, what, 6. Fingers crossed these are also hex. They are. Let's see, are they identical to the top mount ones? A little teeny tiny. Yes, okay, cool. So let's do this. I watched someone put this together and they screwed the board parts into the sockets before they put the cables on, and I was like, that's some dangerous shit you're playing around with in there. Imagine right, so you've got this here and then you have to struggle. You know what I mean? Like, so you've got this here and then you have to struggle to push everything. It's a no for me. That's what I'll say. I definitely put the cables in at least to the destination ends first, because whenever, you know, like when, for instance, just screwing this in, it makes it a lot easier to avoid having to deal with whatever gymnastics you have to do to get everything in there after you're done here, right? That the idea of playing around like that, nuts to me. And just like, for example, this goes here, right? So you have to screw this into. Anyway, what I'm saying is the idea of screwing these things down without having the cables on those ends is impossible to me. I think I would just cry. I've had some rough times trying to put cables into things before. I had a board where I luckily I had ordered a spare PCB just because it was such a unique design and the company / designer didn't seem like they were going to be around for a while. Usually on those type of projects where I think, this seems delicate, I'll buy a spare PCB just in case. And I'm glad I did it with that one because I was able to, I think I like bent some pins in the actual JST cable. It was atrocious. And I straight up like cracked the JST cable entry. And it was in an awkward place where trying to push it in was just like impossible. It was impossible. That's super cool. I like this assembly. I like the way it looks. The way that this slots in right there. It is in fact giving cool car. Oh, we need the bigger one for these. But yeah. I almost cried at the idea of having to do that again and buy a spare one. It was a mess. because it was one of the Zoom boards, so it was super popular because it was a budget board. And just it was in an awkward place. Assembly ended up being fine once I figured everything out, but just even watching videos on how to do it, seeing other people put it together, it was rough. Everyone had a difficult time with that JST cable. There was also like a screen attached to this build as well. So you were having to watch how you oriented your cables and manage everything, the pressure and everything, while there was also a ribbon cable that was delicate and slipped out at every opportunity. That was rough. I do think I built that on stream. It was stressful as fuck. Was this the one? Yeah. I'm pretty sure this is the case foam. So like, I don't know, fam. So this is fine. This, oh, maybe it's the other way around. I think it's the other way around. Okay, so this goes through here. And then this comes through this channel right here. So I'm pretty sure this is how the case foam is supposed to sit. That's a little rough going, honestly. This cable channel does not want to hold this cable. It's too bendy. My preference would be not to have to do anything weird with tape or whatever. I want to just be able to squish it in here and it just actually stay where it's supposed to stay. Because, like, it needs to stay in that channel. That's where it needs to stay, please. Okay, I think that those are the worst parts of the board. Like, in terms of effort and things like that. So we're going to orient this like this. Make sure that we know where everything is supposed to go. So this goes up here. That's gonna be a pain in the ass, I can already tell. Great. Okay, all right. I hate hearing metal grind on metal. That's crazy. So let's get this in here, and hopefully I can keep the cords oriented the way they're supposed to. Oh my god. Okay. The issue with these is always like elevation, right? From this level, you need to have it raised like just a millimeter up so that it clears the lip on the inside of the JST connector. But from this angle, you can't tell if you're making that clearance or not. So you're just kind of like stuck feeling it out until you can get it to actually go into the slot. But you also have to make sure you don't push too hard now, right? Because if you do, it'll just break the connector. And they did give me a spare PCB, the one with the cuts. But we'll see. Okay, here we go. We got it. We got it in there, I think. Yeah. Cool. And believe me, I've seen people in Discords for different boards who are like, ah, fuck. I think I broke my JST cable, and it's like, oh, well, shit, boy, you done fucked up now, you know? There's almost no forgiveness for these things. I'd rather bunch up the foam here, just for the record, than fuck up the cords. So if I need the extra clearance, I can always smooth this back down later. This is annoying. This ankle, annoying. I'm not saying that I don't fuck with JST cables. I actually understand what they're here for, what they do. And I am cool with them. I think that's fine. But generally speaking, what I'll say is designers always somehow choose to put them in the most awkward spots ever. Okay, I just need to make sure that the cable is sitting somewhere relative to the channel it's supposed to be in. I can't tell if it is. Oh no, that is not in the channel at all. Okay. Sir Cable, please actually sit in the channel. Sit in the channel. I can see the yellow part of the wire not in the channel. Please, ma'am, sir. Okay. I think that's all together. Seamless, looking good. So let me go ahead and, oh, you know what? Let me give her a test spin first. Since the top and bottom come together really conveniently, let me plug this in and see what happens. All right. Okay. Whew. Phew. Like, I feel like I am, I've cleared some sort of gauntlet, to be honest. Okay, really quickly, I'm gonna keyboard check these keys just to make sure everything's fine. Oh, that's spacebar. It's not spacebarring. That spacebar is not spacebarring. Oh, it is now. It is now. Okay. Okay, cool. It's activating enough for me. All of these were all good. All of these were all good. Backspace? Yes, we're here. I gotta figure out how I'm gonna code this. But I'll do that later. How I'm gonna do the layout. All of these are functional. I know you're supposed to test the sockets before you put the rest of the build together. You know, do as I say, not as I do. Don't do what I just did. I just decide that my money is gone the moment I buy a board. So when I get the boards and I put them together, I'm just kind of like, well, let's pray that this works. That is not the correct attitude to have about a board. I just want to point that out. I'm a little cavalier in how I do my testing. I'm not saying that you'll never catch any issues with a PCB when you first get it, but I don't know. Usually if you encounter an issue with your board and you truly haven't made use of your board beyond putting it together, usually you can get an exchange or something like that. They're used to there being like duds on arrival, and sometimes they'll ask you for like photos and things like that. Like I know QK80 for sure has like a policy of like, if you put the board together and something's wrong, then like you have to deal with it. And I'm not saying that they're wrong for those policies or anything. I think that if you're paying for a delicate product, they have the right to do that. I don't know. And all of the boards I've put together, which have been maybe like 40, close to 40 boards, if not actually 40. The amount of times I've had like a real issue, to the point where I had to send a PCB back. I think out of all of these boards, there's been one single issue I've had. Like one single issue. Maybe two. Yeah, you know what? I'll say two, because the Tomo PCB gave me some grief when I got it. That was a very frustrating board to build. And I bought extra PCBs for that board. But saying all that to say, I'm a little more cavalier with how I do my boards. If I felt like a board that I was building was so delicate, like if I opened it up and just saw the pieces looked super breakable, I would be more cautious about it. But most of the boards I've put together have been fine, so I don't think it's a problem. When you are doing your boards, though, do as I say, not as I do. If you're nervous about putting a board together or you're not sure about putting a board together, if it's your first board that you're putting together, follow everything step by step, right? Because at that point, you know, you're learning. You don't want to have like a misstep or whatever. I've just put together so many boards that I'm a little more, like I said, cavalier about it. Just like, I also collect boards. Very important, right? So if a board isn't functioning the way I would like it to, I can always, even if I'm like waiting for another board to come in like the mail, I can afford to do that, right? I have like, not a million, but I have a lot of other boards I can use to swap in between. If you only have like a one and done board, or this is like only your first or second board, you want to use it for something specific. It's your work board, it's your gaming board. You only have the one, or you have one at home and one at work. I definitely understand being more cautious with your belongings. If I end up having to buy a new PCB for a board, generally speaking, like, I'll be all right. You know what I mean? I could just grab one of the other boards I have and use it in the meantime. Even if I have to wait, right, until I have money to buy a board, because I'm not rolling in anything either. It's just I've been in this hobby for a very long time and made very unwise financial decisions. But yeah, I can just default to another board even if it's for a couple of months, right? I'm not lacking. So if you are putting a board together, do it the right way. Check all the ports and sockets and things before you put it together. There we go. Alrighty. So that's the majority of what's here. Man, I kind of like how this looks. I'm not gonna hold you up. Okay, now we've got this plastic on here. Let's see if I can actually get it off. Hopefully what they didn't do was put the plastic on the whole thing. If they did, I will cry. Did they please tell me that they did not wrap the weight in this plastic. I didn't see any on the other side, on the inside, so I think I just have to be patient with trying to get this off. If I could get a good peely off of this, I would, but I don't know if I can. I'm so afraid I'm gonna scratch this mirror. This mirror, wait. Okay. Okay, it is not wrapped around the whole thing, I don't think. It's just very... It's very on the edge of the thing. I'm wondering if I can use my nail to get it off. That's what I'm attempting to do. Because I could create like air bubbles in it. So it should be peelable, right? Oh, good Lord. Oh, that might be a lie. The way it's wrapping around the edge. Oh, no. It might actually be on the other side. Oh, no. Let's see. This is insane. I don't think I've ever encountered a weight that was like vacuum sealed into the plastic. Okay, I got it. That was scary, let me tell you. That was scary. We're not gonna get anything pretty, but I did managed to pull it up a little bit. That was scary. They like vacuum sealed it on here. You can't get a pretty peel like that. But that's... Oh, it is on the sides. Oh, no. Is it just... I don't know how I feel about that. I don't know how I feel about that. There's like a little bit over here. It's like vacuum sealed on the sides. I know I'm playing a dangerous game with this being, these tweezers being metal and the surface also being metal. I'm being as gentle as possible. I'm trying to get this off the weight. Oh no. Okay, I got it. I think I got it. Cool. Okay. I'm almost afraid to see how this is gonna sound. I'm almost afraid. Okay. Moment of truth, to be honest. Let's get the keycaps of the hour. GMK Rouge up in this bitch. Look at that deep, deep blue purple. I'm about it. I need to figure out also how I'm gonna do this layout. I have no clue, but that's okay. These are standard like cherry profile. Oh god, no, I hate that. That's disgusting. That is a disgusting sound. Oh no, I'm gonna have to go back and put all the foam in this, aren't I? Oh, okay. All right. Let's put the keycaps on first. How about that? We'll do that. And see if like maybe having the... Oh, good God, that's horrible. That is a horrible sound. That is a horrendous sound. Okay, all right. Actually, I can't. I actually can't with the sound of that. I don't think that's gonna get better. I don't think that's not gonna get better. Okay, all right. Plan B. Plan B. This is gonna be a longer build because what I absolutely cannot do in real life is stand that sound. That is insane. That is an insane sound to have to withstand. So, yikes, my brother. Yikes, brother. Ugh. Like, no. Gross. I don't even know what else to say. That is actually a gross sound. To describe it to you, because I don't know if the mic is picking it up. It's very metallic. It's not thin, but it's very metallic. It's giving this needs force break. It's giving it no. Actually no in real life. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna take a little detour, right? I'm gonna pull these switches out. I'm going to put the foam in, the plate foam, and then we'll put the switches back in there. Cause this board needs every single scrap of foam it can get. That's insane. Insane, brother. So we're gonna do that. Put the switches back in. Put this bad boy back together. At least all the gaskets and things are installed already. It's top mount, so we've got the screws. We don't have to fiddle with a whole bunch of stuff. Just a few things. I don't have to reinstall any of the stabilizers or anything. So, Yikes. That's oof. I don't think I've ever had a reaction to a board like this on stream. Also, these sockets are tight. These are tight sockets. I'm having to like actually pull to get these out. When I took out the first switch, I was like, oh yeah, we're gonna have to keep the case on for that. I will say, I do think there's a little bit more movement in this top mount. I'm not sure if it's due to the squish or the other things, because I mean, does have like the gasket tabs, even if there aren't gaskets on them. Yikes, this is good Lord. That is just too much. How about that? That is absolutely not. Absolutely not. That's so disappointing. Oh my gosh, a Lumi stream and I'm here for it. Yes, absolutely. I tried the spacebar for this board and it sounded atrocious. So I'm actually taking the switches out. And then I'm gonna take this apart. And I don't want to say rebuild it. I'm really just putting the foam in here. It was giving very metallic. It was giving metallic. That space bar was rough. I was not a fan. How are you, Strawberry? What's going on? Oh, I built a pink board earlier and I definitely thought of you. 'Cause this is my second time being live today, actually. Oof. This is the Sela70, by the way. And the one I built before, once I get these switches out, I will show you, was the MK80 MK2, which I squealed to you a couple of weeks ago about caving to buy. I absolutely did. Oof. I've been swell just trying to get back on the grind and also keep consistent. Yeah, life's thrown me a few curveballs, so consistency is not a thing I'm capable of right now, unfortunately. But I did want to try to get some of these builds out of the way. Here is the Mark II. Yeah, this is the other board. Very pink. I only have the one pink board and it ended up being, I don't know, the bezels are kind of thin. It doesn't really feel officially like a pink board to me, even though it's pink. This definitely feels like officially a pink board to me. I named this one Santa Rosa with the help of a friend. Super cute. Crazy that they put lights here on the back. They slowly sift through color, it seems like. But yeah, this is the board. I like it a lot. I'm so tempted to buy it. Yeah. No, I feel that for sure. So yeah. And the little keyboard cat, those little keyboard cat things, when you type it does a little bongo typing cat thing. It's very nice. It's very nice. I have zero regrets. I think total, including shipping, this ran me $238 because shipping is astronomical. The board itself was $199. Shipping's crazy. And I think they technically gave me like a discount too for being an early buyer. I just realized these purples are almost identical. They're not identical, but they're very close. They're so close. It's very close. There we go. That's a little more accurate. The light is kind of in there. It's like just a touch lighter. Just a touch lighter. I love that. Big fucking gonna get the bundle. Yeah, the bundle is Evangelion themed. Yeah. This is just, oh my God. Okay. I'm gonna take like a short 2-minute break, since I just built this and was disgusted by how it sounded. I'm gonna top up my tea. It's literally gonna be like 2 minutes. And then I'll come back. We'll take this apart, put the foam in there, get it back together. This was actually not a difficult build, despite it being a little more manual than the QK80 MK2. That QK was so easy to build. The stabs took the most time, Strawberry, for sure. Like, the Neo stabs that came with it, kind of boo-boo. Not my favorite stabs, but they weren't, like, the worst. They just... stabs, yeah. I try to tune my stabs. I know some people just get the ones that come with their kit if it comes with them and they just throw them in there. But if my space bar rattles enough, I actually will just hate the board and stop using it. But it was super easy. You put the switches in there, basically, and by the time you put the switches in there, like, you're done. You just click. QK has made it, you know, so easy for people to put boards together. I basically didn't have to do anything. But okay, let me take my 2-minute break, top off my tea so I can have something warm and nummy, and then I'll be back and we'll do. I'm determined to make this sound good. I'm determined. I tune my stabs too. My QK75N had a wonky spacebar. I had to tune it. Yeah. I just do it automatically now, even though it takes forever. I know people who watch my streams get tired of like tick, 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 tick. Oh, no, it's not. No, I like overbent it. But let me tell you, I have to do it. And I have tools to make it easier is the thing that's crazy. I bought these ridiculously expensive stab tuners from Gion. At first I was like, no, they're too expensive because they're, you know, they're made from metal or whatever. But the grooves here are perfect. Focus, thank you. Are perfect for stabs. These have changed my life. I've spent 2 hours on stabs before in the past. This was like back in the day before people started making stabs with like decent wires and stuff like that. You just get them in the mail looking all kind of way, feeling all kind of way, bent all kind of way. At least they try to have like some standards now. You can usually adjust them pretty quickly, but it used to take a long, long time. Okay. Break. I'll be right back. Right back. I'm back. And I think part of the problem might straight up be using the top mount, which is tragic, actually. Tragic. I did a little consulting on my break, and the general consensus on this board is, sure, it offers top mount, but like, why would you do that? That's so bad. Oh God. It's not all the way, frick. It's not all the way on the stabs. Oh my God, where? What the heck is happening? I can't even get it to like go down properly on the stab. Okay. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Can I oh, stupid. This is the short one. This is the 6.5. 6.5. My God. My God. Good Lord. Yeah, it's not rattling. That's just a weird ass sound. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do, I guess. I'm gonna take this apart. Also, SiriBot, thank you very much for getting rid of spam. Cool. Okay. So I'm going to do the simplest thing first. Right? So I'm going to unscrew these. Let me get my handy dandy screw container here. I'll do this first. We're gonna dismantle this. I'm gonna unplug everything. And I'm gonna swap this to gasket. Because I have seen people assemble this. With no foams. And it still sounded fine. So now my concern is that it's a gasket issue. So like the top mount on this, whatever the shape, the specs, whatever, it's just not enough to provide. I mean, it really comes down to, do I want top mount bad enough on this board? Because if I do, what I could do, and this is like a real option that I have, I could put the foams in. I don't think I have a 70% yet that has top mount. I'm trying to think. Most of them are gaskets, right? So, not to say that each of my boards has to be like perfectly unique or anything, but I do like having variety. You get different sounds with different mounting methods too. I think that's also important. I try to figure out like what different sounds are that can also be good, if that makes any sense. So that people can get a variety of like, oh, this is gasket mount and it's good. This is burger mount, but it has this sound signature XYZ. I just like being able to say I've tried different things with different boards. Okay. If I have a 70% that has top mount, it would have to be the Tenet 70, I think. But no, I think they're all gasket. I think almost every single one of them is. Okay, all right. We're going to try to salvage the top mount. That's what we're going to do. I know that that's probably the unpopular opinion. I'm sure everybody and their mom built this gasket. But I wonder if... I wonder if I could get this to be okay. If I put all the foams in there. Okay, let's... Come on out, JST cable. Thank you. Okay. Cool. We did all our install with this stuff, so it's not necessary to do anything else. Let me move this down. That bottom half doesn't need anything. It's just this top mount. I think it needs the foam. I think, yeah, for sure. I think there's just not enough. I think there's just not enough generally. There's not enough material in there to cushion any of the sound. So let me go to my tiniest tool here. I'm gonna try this again with the foam and see how that works. I'm determined to try to make this top mount work. Normally, if I have a mounting style that doesn't work, I'll do my adjustments off stream, but I would like to complete this board actually. So, all right, let's pick up these. Screws. You said you remember tuning the first aftermarket stabs that you got. Do you remember what kind they were? The idea of aftermarket stabs is hilarious to me. Oh, maybe that's not unscrewed all the way. Yikes. Come out. Come out. Jeez. Oh, okay. There we go. And then we have one more. Come here. Okay. All right. We've disassembled the top part. This is not ideal. The Durock stabs for my first build. Durock used to be that stuff. It was a glorious keyboard I got off of Amazon. Durocks did require egregious tuning. I will say that much. That is very true. I recall struggling a lot with those. And I don't mean that necessarily in a bad way. At the time, that was kind of like just how things went, you know? Okay. I want to test drive this, kind of. I wonder if I can sit this in the case and get an idea of what it'll sound like. Because, like, you could do gasket with this also as well, so I'm wondering. And, like, it sounds fine there. Like, once we add the top, right, that's where the problems start. Oh, absolutely. No. It needs the foam. It needs the foam. It'll die. It'll die if I don't put the foam in there. Okay. So, gotcha. Heard you loud and clear, my dude. Jesus. Just, good Lord. And if we've got the foam here in between all the spaces, I don't really need my switch fork the way I had it before. So, we're just gonna start popping these bad boys back in there. And we shouldn't have any issues with seating or anything because we've got the foam in between. Yeah, so that should be holding its shape. That's a world of difference. I just want to say that right now. That foam, I'm not even sure if gasket could save the sound of that space bar without foam. Space is not cool in this board. This is not a board where like the sound is inherently good. So more space just like amplifies the sound. This is not one of those, baby. That's crazy. I'm wondering if like in one of the videos that I had watched previously, because it's been a while, right, since I looked at this board and ordered this board and everything. I wonder if in someone's video they just didn't show them putting the foam in there. Usually I have a keen eye and I can spot it, but if the foam is cut really well, sometimes it is actually hard to see if there's foam in there. But yeah, they did not design this with that in mind. So that I know that some people say they don't like boards that require foam because they feel like foam has I guess like a specific sound. I'm not sure if my ears are keen enough to pick up on it. So like if a board is stuffed with foam, right? Like it's stuffed with foam to the point where it's barely able to fit in the case. There's like a muffly sound that I can hear. But in my experience, a foamy board is a specific sound, right? A board doesn't sound a specific way 100% just because there's any foam in it at all. But when you hear people talk on forums and things like that, they definitely will treat it like that's the case. But the whole point of foam is to eliminate reverberations in the board that you don't want. Sometimes, though, if it's made out of the right material, if someone was meticulous enough, what you end up getting is the sound that you do want, or isolated, sounds. The whole point of foam is like it isolates the frequencies that you want to hear while rejecting the ones that you don't want to hear. Aren't keeps just personal preferences? Like, I like how my tofu sounds with all the foams in, but I know some people don't like having any foam in it or just use some of it. So it is preference, sure. But I would argue, not to say that I agree with these people, but I understand their, I guess like I understand their perspective. Generally, when people complain about foam, it's because they're used to boards that are kind of all made to sound the same, depending on what foam you put in it. And to them, the idea of a keyboard is like a board that's made with the weight of the material in mind, right? So the idea is that every board should have its own personality, Some boards are made to work well with clackier switches or with thockier switches or whatever to enhance that sound, right? To enhance the sound of the switches and everything else that's in it. So their general opinion on that is like if the foam makes all of the boards sound the same because they're all made of the same material, right? It's eliminating some of the artistry of a board because the board itself doesn't have like its own unique personality that's coming through. That's the argument that they're making. Now, I think that that is a valid way to view keyboards because they are an art, right? Like we're not buying metal rectangles for nothing. There is personality to the designs. And I think they're looking at it from the perspective of like, if someone designed this board, right, to sound a certain way, right? It would be the equivalent of like using your equalizer to drown out the percussion of a song, right? Because you like the melody better. Yeah, it is your preference and you like that, but you're kind of like eliminating how the song was meant to be received in a certain way by that. So I get where they're coming from. But I also think that because the hobby has a lot to do with preference, the sound that someone intends a board to have, right, might not be a sound that someone likes. And I think that if there's something else about the board you like the way it looks, or like in terms of design or like the color specifically, you should be able to tune the sound to what you like if what you like is outside of what the board was meant to sound like, right? So I see the argument for it, but when people cross over into like insulting other people's tastes, like, oh, you like foamy boards, XYZ, I feel like that's where it gets out of hand. You could appreciate the intended, right, beauty of a piece of art without criticizing how someone else perceives that art, right? Because the whole point of it is we all have our own experiences with it, right? So that's exactly what this is. It's true to keep in mind the artist's vision, right? But also understand that other people might get something else out of it. I think that that's like super duper important. Or to compare it to like other forms of art, like a book or a game, right? Someone could play a game that has like a super deep story and really great gameplay, say like God of War Ragnarok, right? If you're a fan of the old God of War series, you might be one of those fans that are just like, fuck all of that story shit. I just want to rough up like some demons, right? And the game system allows you to do that and have a fun time fighting those things, right? Obviously, everyone who understands the story and really likes it is going to say like, oh, you're missing the best part, right? But you're valid to experience that the way you want to experience it. If maybe you've read a lot of stories like that before, maybe it doesn't have as much meaning to you because you're developed. Maybe you just don't care about that type of story. You don't go to games for story, right? You go to games for gameplay. Some people are like that, like stress relief or that kind of thing. So it's about being able to view it from multiple sides and like not denounce anybody's view of it. The problem is, you know, whenever there are people, you can't ever have the right answer, right? Everyone has their own ideas and they're all always right and everyone else is always wrong. So hopefully that gave you like some insight into why people are so crazy like that. I think it's perfectly fine to like a foamy board. What I'll tell you is no matter what someone tells me a board should sound like, or, you know, oh, they made this board so well because it has XYZ sound without any foams. If I put stuff in that board and I build that board and I don't like how that shit sounds, guess what? That shit go have foam in it. And I don't think that's a bad thing per se. Like you said, it's all preference. And then, you know, with the custom hobby, I also think it's important to note you can try. Oh shit, I did the thing again with the this is when keyless, so I have to remember to take these out. I think things that are also important to keep in mind is that a person can intend for a board to sound a certain way, right? Oh, you go through all the prototypes, you've had people test it, you know, they've put the videos out or whatever, and maybe it just sounds differently in the video, in the previews, than it does in person. If you get a board and you don't like it, then like, what are those people supposed to do, right? And I think that's why it's fair to offer, you know, to offer foams with your board so people can tune it to the way they like. Lamau, that's how I felt about the tofu. I just really like how it sounds with the foams. Yeah, my QK75 doesn't have the case foam in it. Yeah. I'm glad that the QK series finally started putting out boards that you could actually go without putting the foam in. I will say, as a person that owns several QK boards, the initial QK series boards did actually all sound the same. Like, no matter what type of switches I put in them, they definitely had like a sameness issue. I almost swore off of buying QK boards. And then of course that's when they came out with the Neo series, and I was like, I see. But yeah, I had the QK65. I bought the QK75, and the QK. I bought the QK80, and I thought that was going to be my last board, to be honest. But the 80 turned out to be kind of okay. And it didn't sound the same to me personally. I was able to build it without all of the foams too. So I was like, all right, let me give them another chance. My QK75 is doing better these days. It still has to have all the foams in it to sound good, unfortunately. That it is not sounding good with the foams out of it. I made an attempt. It might be the switches I was using in particular, though. I've heard the 75N is really good, though. Please actually screw in. Like, what is the issue we're having here, man? Okay, now we're in there. All those times, and then I just had to beg you to go in the way you were supposed to. Thanks, bro. Oh yeah, I forget there's 2 iterations of the 75. I have the QK70. I was so close to getting the 75 in. If they're still selling it later on next year, I might still end up with one. That back weight, gorgeous. Gorgeous, actually. The only reason why I didn't get it is because they don't have any colors that are not exact duplicates of things I already have. Like, it's so rough. I don't want boards that are just going to end up being copies of each other. To me, that's not worth collecting. I can't really enjoy that. What will happen is I'll end up giving it to someone, and at that point, I feel like I've kind of wasted my money a little bit. Is there a reason why you're not screwing in? Please. Sheesh. It feels like all I have to do is beg these to go... Frick. All I have to do is beg these to go into place, and then they'll finally do it. Grab my screwdriver. Yeah, the QK75 was a big disappointment for me because it sounded almost exactly like my QK65. Also, the QK65 and 75 are actually what I would personally call too foamy for me. I very rarely feel like boards are foamy. Like, maybe my ear is just not as fine-tuned as some other veterans, but the foamy sound, to me, foamy would be like muffly, right? And the 65 definitely sounds muffly. It's in mine is in a unique color, at least for me. It's in a gorgeous green. I wanted a Slytherin themed board. Okay, all right, listen. Listen, screw. I need you to actually get in the fucking hole, man. It's 3:30 a.m. Get in there, please. Good Lord, good God. It's too early for these shenanigans. Oh my God, I can tell it's tilted. Please actually screw into the thread. Screw into the thread, please. Oh my God. Okay. Did I strip it? No, it is not stripped. It's actually just, for some reason, not aligned properly with the hole. Okay, I'm actually just gonna try another screw because this was the one that gave me issues last time. I remember. I have a feeling it's the same screw in the same hole. So let's see. But yeah, those first two, I love the 65 at first, even though it was foamy. I've never had a foamy board before. So for me, there was still novelty in that. I was like, heck yeah, give me that foamy board. But once we got to the QK75 and it sounded exactly the same despite being bigger in size, I was like, listen, what I'm not going to do is have a litany of boards that all sound exactly the same. That's crazy. And even just the idea of like the QK boards, Owl Labs, child, you know, board sounding the same was crazy to me personally. Because I got in on the original Mr. Suit back when people were making fun of how quote unquote whack it was or whatever. Now people acknowledge it was a really good board. Hello, Pikachu, how are you? I am struggling to get these screws into this top mount because it's got this weird gasket thing going on. Gasket top mount. So it's just, the alignment is not aligning. It's definitely this one screw. For some reason, this one screw has issues with aligning in the hole. I'm not sure. Maybe it's the way it's cut or something. I'm not sure. Let's try it in here because this looks like it's aligned pretty well right here. Okay. That's almost. Yeah, okay. That's got to have something to do with either how the thread is cut or the screw is cut. I'm not sure which one, but I'm not going to complain. I got it in there. Love a good build stream. Yeah, me too. This is my second build of today. I haven't done anything in a while. But I've got a few boards to get out of my inventory. So this is the Sela70 from Hance Industries. It is themed on a car. What is going on? I did build it once. This is kind of like, I had to take it apart and reconfigure it. I had it with no plate foam, and the space bar sounded awful. I was very sure that I would not be able to stand listening to how that sounded. So took it apart, and now we're on try number 2. And this one screw, the screw is being difficult. All right, there we go. There's something about how this is oriented, how the gaskets are, that I think makes it hard to aim the screw into the thread. Probably because it's so squishy. That would be my actual guess. That it's hard to tell if it's all the way in there because it's squishy. No, get in there. All right, I can tell I got it through most of the way. Oh, nope. I thought I had it. I didn't. Can we get in there? now. Yikes. Oh no, my tea. Is it just... It can't be just this thread, because I moved it over and it was fine. Okay, it looks like it's partially screwed in. Can we get it to go the rest of the way? Sheesh. Something about these gaskets is making the screw-in process for these super weird. I'm not a fan. I am gonna pray to some deity that I don't have to take this apart again. I think that it sounds better though with the foam. So hopefully I can have my unique top mount 70% fool's gold dream keyboard. This isn't like my end game or anything, but just having a top mount 70% would be cool. I want to prove I can do it. That already sounds a little better. Okay. So let's see. Really quick, I'm just going to test it by putting the two halves together. Oh my gosh. It's a raid though. Oh yeah, I didn't... I did not see the... Thanks for lurking, Strawberry. My current daily driver. Oh no. Hang on. Let me... I was so involved with trying to make sure that this spacebar sounded good. I actually just swapped my daily driver, to be honest. Let me go grab it. Hang on. Okay, so I swap my daily driver like every 2 weeks because I get bored of how things look and sound. But this mode 65 is my current daily driver. Is my camera crooked? I think it is. Gosh darn it, camera. Abandoning me in my time of need. Yes, I did not realize this was a raid. Also, Twitch didn't tell me this was a raid either, to be completely honest. I think the first time chat overrode your raid stuff until the other messages popped up. Really quick, yes, this is my current daily driver, but I just swapped this 2 weeks ago from a QK80. So I'm probably gonna have this up for another week if I'm not driving this one for testing. And then the one that I just built, I literally just built this board earlier today. It is the QK80 MK2. All good, you chill. Yeah. Yeah, I love that mode, Envoy. I just got it back from a friend. I let a friend borrow it. I love the specific clack that it has though. What switches? So really quick, just to blow through everything. These are White Lotus switches. Like Gateron White Lotuses. Durock? Durock White Lotuses. Durock White Lotuses. This has, we just put these in here. Cookies and cream switches from CannonKeys are in here. And then, if I recall correctly, the Envoy, the mode Envoy, I think, I think those are Zaku 2s. Yeah, those are Zaku 2s. Zaku 2s are in that Envoy. I had to think about it for a second. I also just noticed that I have a website with all of my builds on there. What I didn't do was update that specific mode Envoy, so that was no help to me. Yeah, Zaku 2s. I missed out on the original Zakus. But my preference is tactiles. I love tactiles. Tactiles are fucking dope. So as soon as I heard the Zaku 2s were announced, I thought originally that they were going to be linears as well, and I was ready to hop on that train. But then they said they got your girl, and they were gonna be fucking tactiles. I was like, oh well, I'm doubly in here. So I went ahead and got those, and I've been super happy with them. They do have a very unique clack, though. I understand why Zaku's were so heavily sought after for such a long time. I would be heavily after them too. I know this cord is not sitting in the channel. I don't even have to close it to know. Please actually go into the cord channel. That's where you're meant to be. Thank you. Okay. I'm not super familiar with these White Lotuses. I know that the White Lotus switches are also tactile. They're a light tactile. So we'll see how that goes. Get all my handprints off of this. This board has been very interesting to build. The idea of there even existing a top mount for 70% is kind of wild. So I've been obsessed with making that happen, I guess. Like I said, these are not, that's not the biggest one. I need this. The spacebar sounded atrocious though, so I had to take it apart and put the plate foam in there because it was not happening. You have Zaku's in your Zoom TKO. Oh, cool. I have the Zoom 75, and which switches did I put in there? I think I put bronze switches. They're like those cool diamond shaped ones. They're linears. They clack pretty well. And I did like I have the milky green Zoom 75. I like their colors. I really like their colors a lot. The Zoom series has good colors. What I don't like is their UI, the interface, the fact that you have to have their app to do stuff. Not necessarily my favorite, but I did like the board. The board was cool. Agreed. Yeah, rough, isn't it? Heckin' rough. Okay, so I think we've got a winner with this build. I think I have to include the foam or else I'll die listening to it. But if I can get it to sound good with the foam, I'll be a happy camper. I'm not gonna complain. I was explaining to Strawberry earlier, who's the other person in this stream who's chatting, that I don't dislike foam, but it is nice to know that a board can sound good without it. I guess what I'll say is I wish more designers were upfront about if they designed around the foam or not. People have like a bad stigma about foam. But I wish they would just say, hey, I designed this to sound good with the foam. I've had a couple of designers do that, but not very many. Is this one a commission or personal? Unfortunately for my wallet, all of my boards are personal. I haven't done a commission on this channel, but I have done like gifts for friends. I've done one or two, like, hey, I bought this for a friend. We're going to put it together type deals. All right, please. Not the best spacebar, but much better than the metallic ridiculousness that I was experiencing before. Let me tell you, that shit was terrible. I'll take this. Not great, but I'll live. Oh my God. I can't explain to you how awful it sounded. It was gross. That's why I love the Balder 65. I have a Balder 65. Which colorway did you get? I got the stealth black one. Because I couldn't resist. I paired it with PBT X-Ray. You went with the clear? I was so tempted to get the clear. I really wanted to. And decided last minute that I was going to let my goth tendencies take over. couldn't help myself. Oh, that did not go on there. Great. I gotta figure out what I'm gonna do with the rest of these. I have no freaking clue. I'm just waiting for my O-rings to arrive. Oh yeah, I did put my my O-rings on. There was a noticeable difference in how it was sliding in and out of the case when it was turned upside down. It was noticeable. I will say you have to be careful with how you're putting it on. I saw a lot of people in the forums who were like twisting theirs when they put theirs on. They didn't make sure it was like smooth. And they were having issues with how it was seating, because it's still there's like friction between the O-ring and the case, so you can still get the O-ring lifting a little bit if you're not super careful when you're installing it. Yeah, but I think if you take care of that, it should be fine. Just be careful, make sure it's all straight and level, and you should be good, I think. Yeah, we're gonna do step caps for that. I like that. I like how that looks. Page up, page down. We don't need print. I don't know what I'm gonna do with these. So we have control over here. This is a function button that they allocated. So maybe I can put Windows here and then have Alt and then another control. I might just do that. That sounds good. Okay, well this is the R1 delete. So if we're gonna do that, then this page down has to go. I just installed with a thin microfiber to avoid the friction. What's the board count at now? Let me double check. What does this say? Let me put my site on like table mode so it'll give me a number. Okay, a couple of boards that I have, I've given away. So if I don't count the ones that I've given away as like gifts, 38. I have like 2 macro pads. Do those count? I don't think the macro pads count. They're like little testers. 38 if we're not counting those. 40 if we are counting those. Solid number. Yeah, it's a obsession is really what it is. I've tried to argue with people about it not being an obsession, but there's only so much you can do when you own tens of boards. Felt all too well. Yeah. I managed to get a good head start on my collection during the pandemic. When I was first saving work from home costs. I can't buy nearly as many boards now as I was in the beginning. But I don't necessarily think that's a bad thing. Okay, we'll put the Alt here. And oh, you know what? No, I'm gonna put the Windows here. I'm not 100% sure why I'm going to do that, but my brain says do that. So that's what we're going to do. Yeah, I've had to slow down considerably. But to be fair, I have enough boards where I don't really need to buy a whole lot. At this point, if I'm buying, it's to support a design that I really like, or sometimes a seller that I really like. But at this point, I feel like most of the big designers are kind of out there already. We kind of know what they are, who they are. Also, I don't like swapping keycaps. And I know that that's like the vainest thing I could say ever. So I like having themed builds that showcase and coordinate a specific set of keycaps. And that's just how my life is. It's not a good idea. I've downsized quite a bit. Yeah. I'm pretty sure I'll be having to do that soon. But I don't have to do it right now. So we'll see. at this current moment in time, I'm looking for ways to showcase the things that I have. So I don't have a cabinet yet, but I am figuring it out. Oh, okay. I see. This is like, there's like a, I forgot this, GMK Rouge has like that little gradient. So I'll have to replace the numbers as I come across them. I rarely ever swap caps. Yeah. Yeah. I just, for example, this board here. What else am I going to put on this board? Why would I put something else on this board? This is literally the thing that makes sense. Camera, please. That's a little better. Why would I put something else on this? This is literally like, this is it. This is fated for this board. It makes sense. Why bother putting something else on here? I feel like that's just how I roll and operate, for better or worse. But some of my cowards are, I mean, not to toot my own horn, but I think some of my keyboard cowards are pretty good. I have Cam Oceanfront on a Sangu 60. That is like probably one of my pride and joy type builds, honestly. These are F keys, all the F keys. And just being able to have like the illusion of like the beach, right? So you've got the water, the sand caps. And then when you turn it over, there's a shark. I was like, listen, I cooked with that one actually. Actually cooked with that one. You're not going to convince me any different. There's very few times that I would just actually say like, ah, yeah, I've done like the best coward that could be done for a board. But that's one of them. That's one of them. And I've seen some others that go hard as well. I think people get really creative with their caps. But I'm just obsessive over the cowards that I make. Oddly enough, I don't have a frog themed board to put on this this particular desk mat. Not that I would necessarily want one. I'm not super big into frogs. But I don't know. I do like a lily pad or something, if that's what I was into. I just enjoy, like, in the most obnoxious way possible, graphic design is my passion. And I've just found a way to spend money I shouldn't doing it with keyboards, basically. It's giving Wicked vibes. This particular board, yeah. It's definitely giving like dark witchy type of theme. That is exactly where I'm going with this. For sure. The colors, or at least me copying this color board, was inspired by Nyx from the Hades game, because I love that. Oh, they have scooped and barred J. Nice. Usually there's only one or the other. That space bar is still a lot, but it's more tolerable than it was before, so. I need a longer Windows key, and I don't think I'm gonna get one, unfortunately. That's a little crazy that I don't think I'm gonna get one. Okay, so there's a function key here. That's cool, so now I don't have to worry about assigning one of those to be function. Okay. Can get rid of that. I don't think 1.5 function is like in the cards. I don't think that's a thing that this set is going to give me. And they did not sell any child sets with this due to low numbers, so we're just kind of fricked on that. I have another alt. I'm gonna have to put the alt here because the system is actually just not big enough. And that's how it is. Now the real question is, do we have a row 1 page down? Because I haven't come up across one yet. And that's a little crazy that I haven't yet. I'm all about TKOs and 40%. I do like TKOs. I have a few of them. Mostly, so this layout right here, the 70%, the FRL TKO, is actually my favorite. But obviously, this wasn't a thing until super recently. So before then, I was big on 65s and 75s. What is happening? Get on the key? Okay, no, the mold is fine. There we go. I had a board the other day where the mold was like messed up for one of the keycaps. It messed me up. Okay, oh. Here we go. V over here. And I just don't think I have a row 1 page down, which is super unfortunate. So let's see if I can find all the page downs and the ends. More F keys. We got an escape, more F keys. Nope, F1, F4. I did originally get the novelties for this set, but they straight up refunded me for it. All right, that's end. There's a print key there. Not what I'm looking for, though. There's another end. Another page down. I think that there is not a row 1 page down. That's unfortunate. Okay. So let's see about row 2. If I can find a row 2 delete, then I can probably just make it work and we'll do row 2 there, unfortunately. Page down, scroll. Okay. So my guess is, oh, you know what? Insert goes here. For some reason, I always think insert goes on like the top row with like the print screen and stuff. Pause. I know that I literally read it out loud and tossed it somewhere. That is exactly what I did. Like a dummy. Tough. Yeah. Compatibility is a thing. Print. Pause. Scroll. Come on now. I know you're in here. Don't make me go through every single key that's here just to find the insert, but okay, here we go. Alrighty, so let me find the row 2s for these. Delete. Yeah, okay. Delete. And then, is it this one? Yeah, it is. Page down. Cool. Great. We're done. That's crazy. I've been hanging on to this set for a few months, so I'm actually just very happy to have this built finally. I love this. Fire. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. This is pretty much everything I imagine in my dreams. My desk is messy, but I built 2 keyboards today, and I feel pretty good about it. So this is dope. This is dope. It's just the side profile and everything as well. We got that light show in the front. We've got this cool lip. We've got this side profile focus. Thank you. This is a dope board. I almost got it in blush pink, but this was the move. This was it. This is it right here. Yeah, the purple hits. I'm glad that I made that change too. Okay. So really quick, I don't know if we can swap the colors for this. I imagine we can. I'll have to check like the build guide. It's been so long since they posted it in the Discord. I'll have to go check and see if I can figure it out. Yeah, fingers crossed. Because if I can make this purple, we'll be in there. We'll be in there. I'll have to. I think it's supposed to be VIA compatible, so I'll have to go into VIA and see what's going on with it. If it has cyclable RGB modes, I can probably make it happen. Yeah, Mint, if you can. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. All right. So real quick, let's do a typing test. Let's see. Let me adjust my mic. I've been trying to deal with not putting the mic too high so that we can get kind of like a more realistic hearing level of it. Let's see. Let's turn this down. Here we go. And let me turn the gain up just a little teensy-weensy bit. All right, here we go. Let me do the sound test without it being plugged in. Last time I did that, OBS like went crazy. All right, here we go. Alrighty. That's it. Let me tweak my gain a little bit so I'm not blowing out your eardrums when I talk. Yeah. So that is it. What I will say is that I can tell this board has a bit of that metallic sound to it. Unfortunately, I don't think that putting the PE foam that they gave me for that is going to help. I don't think that's a thing that can be helped by that. I think this is unfortunately just a very metallic sounding board. I might consider swapping to the gasket to see if that alleviates some of the metallic sounds. Yeah, it's like a little ping. Yeah. You can hear it with the... You can hear it a little bit on the top row. Yeah, it's anything that's like near the edges. And the thing is, I'm not sure if that ping is because of the top mount or not. So I might take this apart and swap out for the gaskets. Not that I have to do much to do that. I wouldn't have to, take the switches out or anything. So I may swap that and see if the gaskets give me a better sound. Good chances from the top mount. Yeah. I really wanted a good sounding top mount, 70%, but it seems like this isn't it. Yeah. Yeah. It's definitely this row and this right here. You can hear it a little bit with these, but it's mostly the space bar. All right. I'll probably tweak it off stream and see, but I am glad that I was able to get it to sound better, because that ping without the foam, baby, it was actually atrocious. I know some people that like ping, but try force break, maybe I might be able to do that. If it's just around here, I might be able to try force break. We'll try that too. We'll see what we can do. I'll tweak it a little bit. Whenever I finally get this completed, I'll try to do like a sound test. I'm so behind on sound tests because I've been on hiatus. But I'll have to try to get some together. I want to try to whip this into shape and we'll see how it goes. I try to avoid the ping as much as possible myself. Yeah, I can deal with ping if it's not like a certain type of ping. So like the ping that this had before we put the foam in, crazy. Absolutely could not stand it. This I could deal with, but I don't like it. So we'll try. We'll swap to gasket first and see if the gaskets make a big enough difference. And if it doesn't, then I'll put top mount back on and I'll just do force break. So we'll see. We'll see. Because if it's just that this shape board isn't good for that kind of ping, it is what it is. And I have heard from different folks that like the bigger the board is, the more of an effect the foam has on that kind of ping. Usually when it's smaller, there's not as much space for the sound to fan out. So you get more exaggerated ping. So, and then, you know, the bigger the board, the heavier it is. And that also affects things. So we'll see. All about that fine tune. Yeah. But okay. Alrighty. I think that's pretty much it for this stream. It's like 4 a.m. I have to work in the morning. But I am glad that I got to build her. I'm so excited. Yay. Thanks to everyone who's lurking, people who listen to me while they're doing work, getting work done side by side while we're doing this. I had a lot of fun. It was a nice kind of comeback stream in a way. So next time I'm on, I'll probably be playing a game and not building a board. I have other boards to build. I promise I have other boards to build. But I don't want to do like 2 boards in a row and then do another board. Glad I was able to catch this one. Me too. Me too. I love meeting people from the community. I just left Twitter, so meeting people from the hobby is hard on different sites. We're all scattered around. So I'm glad that you were able to stop by and see me. Hopefully you'll catch another stream and I might catch one of yours. Alrighty. So just a reminder for anyone who wasn't here earlier, please remember that you matter. And to take care of yourself. And I'm going to go get some sleep. So if it's time for you to be sleepy by in your time zone, go get some sleep too. And I will see you guys later. Bye-bye.